Zafiro Claim. Great Britain vs. U.S. 1925. Facts. These are claims for property looted or destroyed by the crew of the Zafiro on May 4, 1898, while the ship was moored alongside the wharf of the Manila Slipway Company at Cavite, engaged in coaling. The claimants were employees of the company and lived on the premises in houses belonging to the company. During the naval battle of May 1, 1898, in Manila Bay, as the wharf and premises were in the line of fire and shells were exploding about the houses, the claimants and their families went away for safety, leaving the premises in charge of Filipino watchmen and Chinese employees of the company. On May 4, the Zafiro was ordered to go to the Spanish coal pile at Cavite to coal, and in order to do so moored alongside the company's wharf. The evidence as to what followed is in conflict and there is much dispute as to the facts. But it is clear enough that the Chinese crew of the Zafiro took a substantial part in the looting of the houses of the claimants and destruction of their property, which was undoubtedly complete and thorough. It appears that the Nanshan and Zafiro, two British merchant vessels, were bought by Admiral Dewey at Hong Kong, under authority of the Secretary of the Navy, in April, 1898. They were not commissioned, but were registered as American vessels, and the original crews, British officers and Chinese sailors, were shipped in the American merchant service. The Zafiro was a supply ship, acting in Manila Bay as a part of Admiral Dewey's force, and under his command through the naval officer on board for that purpose and the merchant officers in charge of the crew. Issue. Whether at the time of the looting in question the Chinese crew were under discipline and officered so as to make the United States responsible. Ruling. In this case, the officers were not actually present at the houses when the looting was done. After members of the crew brought some of the property upon the vessel, and one of the officers found where it came from, he went to the houses and took away some articles in order to preserve them for the owners. After the matter was drawn to the attention of the naval officers, the vessel was searched and the articles found on board were returned to the claimants. But the damage had been done. It was said in argument that a government is not responsible for what its sailors do when on shore leave. But we cannot agree that letting this Chinese crew go ashore uncontrolled at the time and place in question was like allowing shore leave to sailors in a policed port where social order is maintained by the ordinary agencies of government. Here the Spaniards had evacuated Cavite, and no one was in control except as the Navy controlled its own men. The nature of the crew, the absence of a regime of civil or military control ashore, and the situation of the neutral property, were circumstances calling for diligence on the part of those in charge of the Chinese crew to see to it that they were under control when they went ashore in a body. The court ruled that, as the Chinese crew of the Zafiro are shown to have participated to a
created using Powtoon.